Next step in the build, we're going to take care of this nasty seam line on the canopy. So what I'm going to do in here is using progressive grits of my Infinity sanding sponge, 1500 grit, then to 2500, and a 4000 grit to get that removed. Now for the polishing compounds. So I've got the whole collection from Tamiya, and they work great, but you can also use some other stuff like Novus, or even some stuff that's used for automotive. So I'm just starting out with the red or coarse, and just wiping it on, scrubbing it around with a cotton bud. For the fine compound, I'm going to do something that might be a little bit scary for a lot of you viewers. I'm going to be using a Dremel bit. So I'm just first getting the material onto the canopy, and then I'm going to use kind of a slow medium speed to just buff it in. Now what is crucial is the type of bit that you use. You got to use a good cotton bud. Otherwise, if it's some of the felt ones and all that, it's just going to melt the plastic and it's going to have some issues. The other thing that you need to worry about is having the bit kind of catch anything. So with the F-16 canopy, bubble canopy, very easy, but make sure that it doesn't catch the side. Otherwise, your canopy will turn into a projectile. And the final one is the white cap finish. What I'm going to do is just wipe it on with cotton bud again, and then to remove it, I'm going to use a micro mesh cloth to make sure I don't add any scratches to it. But this just kind of works more of a protective layer. It doesn't seem to do much more to the polishing itself, but it does definitely give you a little bit more of a protective finish. The other thing that I sometimes will do from here is also grab like the Meguiar's headlight restore, plastics kind of stuff, and those work really great for this step as well. And the final result looks quite good. There is a point where you can see where it's a little bit thicker where that seam is, but otherwise it's as smooth as it's gonna get, and I'm gonna call it good enough. Now for construction. Now for the engines, I chose to go with the Eduard resin set, and these are really good. Just about as on par with any of the grades out there. Will cause you to, like any resin set, remove some of the stubs. Once those are removed, I'm giving all the bits a layer of Tamiya LP11 silver. Next, what I'm doing is highlighting a little bit on the inside of the exhaust, some MRP white. Now it doesn't need to have proper coverage on all of it, just kind of highlighting some of the raised areas and all that. Some of the silver is going to be just completely removed once we get into laying in a wash on the inside. Now for the turkey feathers, I want to try something a little bit different. This is going to be a technique that Darren Cook has been using recently, and I'm going to try to replicate a little bit of that. So I first started with just Tamiya's XF1 black, and then laying on, I've got some Spastics Chrome as kind of my metallizer, and just dry brushing that on. Now, at first, it didn't seem to go the best. I think it's because I was using Mr. Color Leveling Thinner and it was making it too level, and there's less to grab onto. So I then changed to Mr. Leveling Thinner and then Mr. Surfacer 1500 and putting that on there, and it seemed to have a little bit better bite to it. And then I'm just dry brushing on the Spastics Chrome, and the key to it is make sure that it's not on too thick, because if there's too much material, then it ceases to be dry brushing and you're really just painting on the chrome, and it gets a different effect and it kind of works, but it's not really what we're looking for. So best to make sure that you have just some pigments on the brush, but you're not really trying to brush on the paint. Just have a little bit of the pigments go on there, and that'll help clear up some of these little brush strokes that you can kind of see. So it's a little bit of a tricky technique at first, and it probably is better with the Tester's Metallizer. My thing is, I don't have any of those. So this is the next best thing, and I think it works pretty well. So make sure that we get the coverage pretty good, and we'll show you the end. So I really like the end result of this. It's got just a really unique finish to it. Whether it matches exactly what the real thing is, I don't know. I'll have to take a look at some more references. I will be going to an air show this weekend to see. So just a few more touch-ups with the dry brushing, and then we're gonna see how it looks when added to the rest of the can. And as you can see, there's a little bit too much contrast. So what I did is I added some more surfacer onto the forward edge of the cans, and then just continue the dry brushing. So it kind of blends the two in together a little bit. As usual, everything with Tamiya is pretty much just kind of click in place. You probably don't even need to have any glue in certain areas, but we're definitely going to use it. and click. I think it's engineered that it's not gonna be really going anywhere, but we do want to make sure it's nice and secure because the landing gear are gonna attach this. We do not want them to be wobbling. On the top, there's a little bit of a tricky seam that you can get into there, and you want to make sure that you attach it right there perfectly. Otherwise, you're gonna have a little bit of a ledge. And so make sure you get that all lined up before putting on the glue. Once you do, fits great. The top and the bottom fuselage nearly clicks together. Now for a few of the fiddly bits that go to the front, make sure you test fit. But overall, fit is really good. As long as you just take away these little nubs, then it should fit perfectly. And as always, a special thanks to Hobby Nut Models. And we'll see you guys on the next round.